So it's August 11th, 2016, and I get back from my minimum wage mall job at about 4:45 in the afternoon. My flatmate isn't home, so I go out on the deck, put in some earbuds, and look my subscription feed on YouTube. As a pleasant surprise, I find a new trailer that's been posted by up-and-coming distributor A24 for a film called Moonlight. Seeing as the company hasn't failed me in the past couple of years, well, except for a couple of times, I clicked on the thumbnail expecting the best, and I was amazed. I hadn't seen a trailer like what was displayed before me in a very long time, as everything seemed to have been tailor-made for my cinematic preferences, from the score in the background to the color palette being used. However, one specific shot stood out to me, as what we can only assume is our main character raises his head after dipping it in the sink, covered with wet streaks of blood. From that point up until this very moment, what impresses me the most about the film is how Moonlight uses many different sensations in regards to water to connect the audience with Chiron. Now, throughout her article, What My Fingers Knew, Vivian Sobchak enforces the idea that we experience films through our sense, as, quote, film experience is meaningful not to the side of our bodies, but because of our bodies, end quote. For a significant part of the article, she discusses her personal interaction with the 1993 melodrama, The Piano. She specifically looks at the opening shots, as the viewer is introduced to a glowing pink environment, with cracks of light invading the seemingly tranquil affair. It is then later revealed to be the viewpoint of the protagonist, Ada McGrath, with her fingers covering her eyes. Alas, before the reveal was even made, Sobchak tells the reader that she sensed what the object was with the same object that belonged to her, thus thrusting her into the protagonist's shoes as they both partake in the sensation together. Now, the phenomenon that Sobchak had during The Piano has happened to many film enthusiasts I've talked with about Moonlight, with many facets stimulating their senses, respectively. However, the one that is most commonly brought up during discussion is water, as it seems to be a symbol for one of the only places that Chiron can find stability from the insanity that engulfs him on a daily basis. For example, we see Chiron come home from a strenuous day and discover that his TV has gone missing, presumably sold by his mother in order to obtain more crack. So what does he do? He makes himself a bath, complete with freshly boiled water, and he sits there, in one of the only places he can find solitude in himself, with no judgment or pressure being put upon him. And as Chiron sits there, you can also feel the tension in your muscles start to unwind, as most people have taken a bath at least once in their lives. The same can be said for what is seen as the culminating scene of the film, and is the final scene, as we see Chiron reveal to Kevin that he's been inactive sexually since their encounter as teenagers. After that reveal, we suddenly see the former lovers relax, as the shared tension that has been building up all night eases away and the ambient noise starts to be replaced. At first, the sound is distant, but despite that, the viewer is already aware of the environment the sound is coming from and becomes transported there since it has already been visited in an earlier scene. The sound continues to increase, revealing itself to be the roaring of waves until the film arrives at its final shot, a young Chiron looking off into the distance, finally content with who he is and who he has grown up to be. As what usually comes with waves, you can also feel the breeze and the emotional attachments that come with it. Yet for the first minute, we simply don't know what's there. We're just engaging with Chiron in his sensory observations. In contrast, a lot of classic theorists disagree with Sobchak's article, as they stick to the more classical mirror theory, stating that the viewer reflects themselves onto the main character. However, said theory misses one crucial detail of what Sobchak's carnal thoughts revolves around. An experience, such as one like Sobchak had during The Piano, or people like myself had during Moonlight, is more of a shared experience between the character and the viewer. The viewer does not project themselves onto the protagonist, they experience the sensations alongside them. And that makes all the difference.